All right, everyone, for today's tech tip of the day, I want to talk to you about our power distribution network analysis tool, or Pdn Analyzer, and how it can be used as a tool for design reviews for your PCB projects in Altium Designer. Whenever you create a PCB, one of your goals as an engineer is to ensure the robustness of that circuit board across all of the different operational conditions. This is especially relevant for me in my previous role as a double E. Many times I was dealing with high current applications, and in these situations, there's a couple of key things you might run into if you're not careful. Number one is, how do I ensure that I have the adequate copper to handle the current that my application requires, especially at the operational limits of the design? And number two, how do I guarantee that I have sufficient voltage to properly power on any of the ICs on my PCB? Enter the Pdn Analyzer Tool. This tool is licensed to us by CST, and what it does is it's able to perform a steady-state DC analysis on our power delivery network. The unique thing about this tool is that it does all this calculation using the actual geometry from the PCB design. This allows the tool to do things like tell us the true current density through any of our traces, as well as the real voltage drop across our power delivery network. And we can visualize this data directly in the PCB design. To show you guys what I'm talking about, let's jump into the Altium Designer tool, where I've pulled up a PCB design where I've already run an analysis. As I mentioned a second ago, we can see the visualization of the results of the analysis straight in the PCB design, and here we're having a displayed as a heat map of the voltage drop for all of our different power rails. Now, when I was setting up the analysis, I'm able to come in and configure key operational parameters like the ambient temperature, as well as set up any operational limits in terms of the maximum allowable current through any of my traces or vias. And if I do the simulation and run into an error, the tool will actually flag that to me. We notice that we have the red exclamation point here. And by hovering my mouse over that rail, double clicking on this, tool will actually take me straight in the PCB artwork to the offending location, where I can use the properties panel to increase the size or do whatever else I need to reduce my current density through that track. I'm going to show you how we can do a design review using the tool. By coming to the visual tab, we're going to change our displayed, and we're going to come to our current density, where I'm going to now use the tool to highlight the different peak values. In this case, we're looking for the maxima in the scope of my entire design. And so as I'm doing my review, I would go through and use the tool to locate, the worst case scenario, second worst case, third worst case, etc. And using my engineering judgment, I can say either A, that trace is wide enough, it can handle the current, no problem, or B, okay, yeah, that's looking a little small, maybe I should do something to increase my margin there. Similarly, if I want to check out my operational voltage, I would go to try to locate the minima in my design. And many ICs have what's called a minimum operational voltage. So here I can take a look at this 1.74 minimum voltage and compare against my data sheet and make sure that I don't run into any headroom issues there with the minimum operational voltage. Well, that's a high-level overview of Pdn Analyzer. I hope you guys were able to learn something useful today, and thanks for watching.